Hello, friends. Hi, I'm Avinash, and welcome once again to my channel. Salary negotiation is a chance to secure compensation that truly reflects your value, skills, and experience. That's why it's essential to prepare thoroughly for the negotiation process to maximize your chances of getting the salary you deserve. Here are the 7 steps you can take to improve your chances of securing a pay raise through negotiation with your employer. Research salary data for your position, know the CTC bracket for the position, consider the company's financial performance, highlight your achievements, building rapport with recruiters, actual salary negotiation, do's and don'ts, and finally, don't accept offer immediately or negotiate via email if possible. The first step for you is to research salary data for your position. Before requesting a raise, take time to understand the typical salary range for your role and level of experience. If you feel comfortable, consider speaking with colleagues in similar positions to learn what they earn. You can also use platforms like Glassdoor, Payscale, or LinkedIn Salary to gather reliable compensation data. Additionally, researching online to find average salaries for your job title in your geographic area will help you set realistic expectations. Here is a statement you can consider mentioning recruiters. Based on industry benchmarks for my position, salaries generally range between rupees X and rupees Y. Given my contributions, I believe my compensation should be at the higher end of this range. Next, know the CDC bracket for the position you have applied. Most positions in top companies are budgeted and approved by senior management either during the annual manpower planning exercise at the start of the financial year or before the HR team begins the recruitment process. When companies advertise vacancies on job portals like Naukri or Monster, they typically specify a salary range. If your current CTC is at least 15 to 20% lower than the lower or upper end of that range, you can be confident there is room to negotiate. For example, if the budget for the position is rupees 8 to 10 lakhs and your current CTC is between 6 to 8.5 lakhs, you can consider applying for the position as you will have ample space to negotiate salary with the recruiters. Keep in mind that in some cases the CTC range can be extended with management's approval. When a recruitment consultant contacts you, don't hesitate to ask about the approved budget for the role. However, if your current CTC is significantly higher than the rule's budgeted range, there is little point in applying unless you are very keen to leave your current job and are prepared to accept a lower salary. Third point is consider the company's financial performance. Understanding the company's recent financial performance can help you gauge whether it is in a strong position to offer raises. Reviewing its earnings and growth over the past few quarters will indicate whether the business is expanding and profitable or facing stagnation or decline. A company experiencing slower growth or financial challenges may have limited flexibility for salary increases. This insight can be useful to frame your negotiation strategy. For example, if the company is still growing but at a slower pace, you might choose to target a more modest raise than you would have if it were experiencing rapid growth. This kind of research can help you assess the company's stability and whether it is likely to offer a higher salary. For example, if you're currently working at a company with a rupees 400 crore turnover and interviewing with one that has a rupees 4,000 crore turnover, you can reasonably expect a significant increase in your current CTC. Typically, larger companies with high revenues have more competitive salary structures than smaller firms. The next point is highlight your achievements. One of the most effective ways to justify a raise is by showcasing specific accomplishments that have directly contributed to the company's success. Demonstrating the impact of your work reinforces the value you bring to the team and strengthens your case for higher compensation. This is especially relevant for roles that directly drive revenue. If your efforts are helping the company grow financially, it is reasonable to request a salary that reflects that contribution. Example, I've exceeded my sales targets for 120% for 3 consecutive quarters, generating rupees 50 lakh in new business. Fifth point is building rapport with recruiters. Aim for a win win outcome. Remember, recruiters want you to be satisfied. It enhances their reputation too. Approach the conversation with honesty, courtesy, and confidence. Demonstrate enthusiasm. Show sincere interest in the position. Employers are more willing to consider your terms when they see you are genuinely excited about the opportunity. In the penultimate point, I'll discuss the actual salary negotiation process, do's and don'ts. Let us start with the don'ts first. While negotiating salary with the recruiter, avoid being rigid and saying, give me rupees 15 lakhs per annum, else I'll not join. Remember, this will leave a bad taste and may spoil your relationship with the recruiter. Even if it doesn't work out this time, you may join the company later. This is true in the case of certain industries like sugarcane, cement, etc., wherein candidates move from one company to another company as you have selected companies to choose from. When asked for your salary expectations, it may seem like a good idea to propose a figure from the low end of your range to avoid ruffling any feathers, although it could compromise your chance of getting a better deal. Hence, avoid saying minimum 15 lakhs per annum, else recruiter may settle for something in the range of the figure quoted by you. Now let us discuss the do's during the salary negotiation process. When a recruiter or the HR asks you about your salary expectation, you must quote a figure much higher than what you want to actually settle for. If you desire a 35% hike on your existing CTC, you can quote that you are expecting a 40 to 45% hike. Once you do that, 9 out of 10 times the recruiter will say that you are quoting a huge hike as they can offer you about 20 to 25% hike on your CTC only. It is then when you can say that you have conducted a market survey for the position applied for and are aware of the CTC structure for the position and also the salary structure of someone with your kind of experience, education, and skills. Hence, have quoted the hike. You can outline your contributions in your existing company with respect to reducing cost, increasing revenue, reducing attrition, improving work culture, etc. Highlight what you bring to the company if you are selected. Let the hiring manager know that you are flexible and willing to work toward an agreement. Sometimes the recruiter may have budgetary constraints and may need the approval of higher management to give you a substantial hike. However, if the recruiter knows your value, they are more likely to take steps to avoid losing you. Be clear about your ask. Don't just say, I want more. Have a specific figure or range in mind. Justify it logically. Now we come to the final point of the day. Don't accept offer immediately or negotiate via email if possible. This is one final step you can take in case you're not pleased with the salary offered by the recruiter. This gives you time to craft your response and avoids real time pressure from seasoned negotiators. Try holding back for a few days and reply in this way. Thank you for the offer. After careful consideration, I believe that my experience and qualifications warrant a higher salary. I'd be happy if you could increase my CTC by 5% more. Looking forward to a positive reply from your end. If you reply in this fashion, chances are the recruiter may discuss with management and give you a hike. He may not do so as well. However, nothing wrong in trying though. Let me add that one candidate did take this step, and I took it positively and gave him an additional hike since it was still within the budget for the position. So, this concludes my presentation for today. Hope you have liked it. I'd look forward to your comments on the video. So, until we meet again shortly, thanks, have a nice day, bye, take care.